Welcome back, everyone. We certainly hope that your groups have had meaningful discussions on the questions that were asked relative to everyone's input. As you will remember, by the end of this week, we plan to have a declaration or a manifesto to take us forward. And so your input today and every day in the chat and in the discussions will be critically important as we move toward the end of our time together this week. We would like to begin our regional reports. I'm wondering if Michael McGarrain is here from Europe, if he might begin. Michael, are you there? It appears that Europe is not back yet. Okay. Let us move then to the Caribbean. Is the Caribbean there?
The Caribbean, I was the moderator for it. We did have the session indeed. So there will be some notes following on from the great conversation that was had here.
Right.
Wonderful. Can we hear your report either from you or your rapporteur? I assume everything is being recorded. And then we would like to have your notes. If you could please send us the notes. We can put in the chat where the notes should be sent. Please go ahead from the Caribbean.
I shall post my notes. There were quite a number of comments and responses, more especially around the language that is used around the journey towards freedom and preparations. I think we had about 12 people joining our call. I will share the notes if we can confirm where the notes can be sent. But that conversation was indeed very good. We do wish to have a follow-up conversation as well. We do wish to have a follow-up conversation if that opportunity does come back to us. Thank you.
And thank you very much. I will put in the email. No, if you are there, can you put your email there in the chat so that people can write the notes to you, and then we'll be sure to get them for the international team. No, is that agreeable?
Angelique, you can send them to me.
Oh, yes, also, Professor, you are there. Yes. I didn't see you there. Yes, please. Yes, he will put the email in the chat. So thank you so much for that. Yes. The email is now available. Please send your notes to the email in the chat. Okay, is Europe here? I see Caribbean, we have finished there. Let's move now to North America. Carmela, are you back from the other room now? Carmela? I am not hearing Carmela, and I was in that group. She was our rapporteur. Okay, not to worry. Let's go to Africa. Who was convening the group for Africa?
So Isabel was, Dr. Perry was, but I was the scribe and wrote down the notes. So I can jump in there, and if I can just ask the tech team if they can pull out Carmel, who's an attendee, and just put her as a panelist or allow her to speak, but I can see her in the room. Carmel McKellar-Smith, if I'm not mistaken. So the Africa group had a very lively discussion and very interesting, and also provoked me in interesting ways. But we dealt on multiple different themes, but one of the major ones was around the notion of trauma and whether Africans have really dealt with the trauma of slavery and colonialism and imperialism, and what that actually means to deal with that trauma. And on top of that, this notion of, if I find it here, there was an interesting contribution that was made around the psychology of slavery. And they use a particular author whose name I'd lost, but he talked about this notion of the psychology of slavery being like a ghost from the plantation. And how do you exercise that ghost? And how do you understand that colonialism's biggest effect was this cultural bomb? And this cultural bomb, according to Ngugi wa Thiong'o, was the ability to alienate people's beliefs in themselves. We also touched on the issue of how to then also create new institutions and how we can also work towards building an Africa that doesn't stand still. There was comments around how the next generation should be adequately invested in order to capacitate their leadership for tomorrow and give them the skills to deal with the challenges of today collectively. And then there were questions around, even if we do attempt to change the continent, how do we also deal with the external powers that try and force us not to, and force us to kind of stay in the place that we're in. So there's plenty of other notes, but those are the broad themes that we had.
Thank you so very much. Also very helpful. It's my understanding that Carmela McKellar has now been brought in. Carmela, can you bring the notes from North America, please?
Yes, ma'am, I can. The North American group convened. We discussed the importance of people of African descent in capturing and telling their stories and being in the lead in telling these stories and ownership of telling those stories. We also discussed the difficulty in telling those stories from the perspective of being enslaved, but we also discussed the trauma and the fact that there's so much trauma embedded in our stories that sometimes the telling of those stories are difficult for us. And finally, one key area or one key point that was made was that we also have to focus on youth engagement, being particularly focused on allowing for their stories to be told and their articulation of their stories. So in general, blending together and ensuring that we have a full and robust story of people of African descent that we can capture and tell and ensure that generationally those stories are maintained, archived, and shared. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Carmela. We are grateful to hear from North America. We may have a challenge with Europe in that the reporter or the convener may not be a panelist. I've just sent out in a chat asking if that is the case, because we do want to hear from Europe. Michael, are you there, or your representative from Europe? Michael McElrain? No? Is there anyone else? Sorry, go ahead.
If the rapporteur from that group, whether it's Dr. McCrane or someone else, if they raise their hand in the chat, it just makes it a lot easier for the support team to find them and then make them a panelist if they are here.
Thank you. Can the representative from Europe please put your name in the chat so we may call on you for your report, please? Meanwhile, is Latin America back by chance? Is Latin America there? Latin America? Okay, it appears Latin America was still meeting and has some technology challenges. So we will be proposing that Latin America perhaps find some more time to discuss further, given the technology challenges that they faced. And then with Europe, Michael McElrain, I know he was present to convene the group. Perhaps there's just been a misconnect in this moment. We will have to be in contact with him as well. Well, friends, we are approaching the end of our time together. Are there any other thoughts that we need to share from anyone else who would have been a part of any of the groups that we at least know about that we need to hear in this moment? Do we feel that the comments that have been shared from your regional group have been representative? Please raise your hand or put in the chat that you would like to be called upon in this moment. We'll give it just a moment to see. I see Reverend Chakani is back. Yes, Reverend Chakani.
Yeah, Angelique, the Reverend Angelique, I would like to all discuss it after this meeting, but actually we need repeat of these conversations because the time was not enough. And I visited a number of groups. And I think we'll talk about it afterwards. We'll have to create a moment. It can't be within the 3 hours per day, but it could be outside the 3 hours per day for further discussions.
Thank you for that, counsel. I believe that may be the case with many of us, that there needs to be more time. So what we would like to do, we do have 3 of the rapporteurs who have given their reports. We do know who the conveners were for Europe and for Latin America. We will consult between the rapporteurs and the conveners a time that we can propose to reconvene this conversation based on the availability of those in question. We hope this is an agreeable way forward. Yes, Reverend Jacani, did you have something more to add?
No. Yeah, I didn't lower my hand.
Okay, thank you very much. Friends, we are at the end of our time. It has been a joy to have you here on this great opening day, to have these conversations and to have the presentations of this day. I am hoping that Marilia, I see her there now. We are going to invite you, Marilia, to stay after a bit also so that we can talk about the Latin America group. Do you have any comments now, however, from the Latin America group, or would you like to wait until the reconvening? And you are the former moderator, so I send my chair over to you now.
Hello, everyone. Angelique and everyone. I'm sorry to say, but unfortunately for technical problems, I wasn't able to enter the meeting with, well, I wasn't able to enter the meeting. And when we finally enter, we had like 15 minutes only left for the session. So, what was suggested was that maybe Selenir Kronbauer could present shortly what she shared with us in the group discussion. But the fact of the matter is that I bring to the table is that we didn't have a proper discussion in time to be able to really address the questions that we had before us.
Yes, thank you very much, Marlia. We had gotten word that this was the case, so we're asking if you don't mind to stay a few moments after. We're going to come up with another time that would be agreed upon for more time for you and even for maybe the other groups, because time was very short. But we certainly accept the rapporteur to come and to give whatever short notes you would like to bring at this time. And then we come back to you to close us out, because now we're at the end of our time. So please, can you invite your colleague to speak?
You're talking to me now. Sorry, Angelique, I'm not understanding.
Yes, you had said there was a colleague who gave the notes.
Sorry. I think I didn't express myself correctly. She said I would need. She was having difficulties to enter the session, but could you please have you, if you think it's possible, could you give the floor to somebody else at this point, and I will check out with her if she really managed to re-enter the room, because I'm not sure if she is in the room already. Okay.
Can you give the name? And I think the technology crew could tell us if she is here.
Her name is Selenir Kronbauer. I will contact her through WhatsApp as well right now.
Does the technology team have any awareness of her being here?
No, she's not here, ma'am.
Okay.
So but I can, if you allow me 1 minute, I can try to contact her and see if she can enter. Or else, I mean, we are available. We are open to any suggestion you may have at this point.
Yes, I'm concerned that it is 11:05 and we can.
Yes.
11, not to worry, we've agreed to go forward with new times. So I think everyone has supported that proposal. So Marlia, I want to turn the floor back over to you as our moderator. I've only been filling in to just give us a closing remark so that we can then go for tomorrow. And I don't know if we want to make an announcement. Tomorrow is on reparations, decolonization, and all of the related matters around economics. So please, we'll see you all tomorrow. But Marlia, over to you to close us out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angelique, for helping out in that manner. I'm very pleased that we are having this opportunity of being together, of talking together. And I hope the groups have had meaningful conversations, and that you may have come to important elements to share with the conference as a whole. And as we have started this day asking for God's wisdom and presence and light to our time together, we end this session also asking that God may continue blessing all of us and guiding us and give us insight to our work and service for the whole community of African and African descent around the world. May God help us and continue finding the strategies and the way forward in our mission that is ahead. Have a good day and God bless you all.
Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you.